A few years ago, I was up in Boston, and I was giving a talk on one of my favorite subjects, resentment, right? And someone at the event told me about a book they had read. It was called You Can't Make Me Angry. And I remember thinking, wow, what a great title. I wish I thought of it, because it seemed to me that the author must have discovered the truth about himself and gotten free from anger. And I told the woman, see, I'm not the only one who knows this stuff. We had a good laugh about it. But afterwards, she took me aside, and she told me that I had misunderstood what the author meant by the title, You Can't Make Me Angry. And indeed, I had. She explained to me that it wasn't that he had gotten free from anger. It was that he had accepted anger as a standard for himself. So the book was really about how the anger in him was self-induced and not people-induced, as if that were some superior kind of anger. It's not. It's still anger. He wasn't free from it, but he had adopted an ages-old technique that he proposed in his book for suppressing emotions, but not for getting free from them. He accepted his anger as his own. Very dangerous. It's a fatal practice. Now, this fellow was highly regarded by some of the 12-step fellowships. And posthumously, he still is, but this poor guy just wasn't there yet. And yet he'd written a book about it as if he had discovered some marvelous solution. And he hadn't. The truth about anger, about people, about the ego self had completely escaped this fellow. No one could make him angry. True, because he already was angry. There is a solution for anger. You can get free from it, but you cannot just decide that you're not going to be affected by other people, like this guy had tried to do. If you do that, you'll be disturbed anyway. It's got to be done without decision-making, without willpower, because anger cannot be managed. Not intellectually, not willfully. It doesn't matter whatever idealistic fantasies you have, positive thinking, belief systems. No one can just make up their mind to feel or to think a certain way. Not in safety, you can't. You can wrest positive narratives out of the thought stream and feed yourself suggestions, right? Self-hypnosis, that works. You can fabricate all sorts of affirmations and positive ideas. You'll feel better temporarily. But trying to contain and manage your emotions, get those energies built up inside you, your thoughts carry those energies. It's extremely dangerous. Your nervous system, your wiring can't take it. You malfunction. You slowly electrocute yourself. You burn up, you break down from the energy of overloading emotions. You short circuit. And on the surface, it might seem like you're serene and you're in control, but in reality, there's a rising self inside that feeds on that energy, and it begins to emerge as a narcissistic, pleasure-seeking ogre. And that becomes you. And then depression and anxiety creep in. You could medicate your discomfort away. You could numb it with antidepressants, drugs, right? Nicotine, prescription medications. But you get worse under that effect. You develop vices and bad habits to compensate for all the pain, to keep it contained. Nasty stuff. It's a nasty life. You know the leading cause of death in America, right? It's heart disease. Do you know the leading cause of heart disease? It isn't diet. Not really. It isn't genetics. It's stress, or more specifically, the failure to meet stress with love, with forgiveness, and that means that you're suppressing emotions, secret anger, all judgment, all resentment, people-induced or self-induced, it doesn't matter. If you can't get free of that, if you cannot lose your sick attachment to emotions, you're done. Finished. And that guy wasn't unique either. In fact, his philosophy was pretty common. It's common now. It's common because it's a philosophy that appeals to ego, to self. Poor guy. And poor you if you follow that kind of thinking.